Hi, this is Denise of PaperKraftD, and today I'm so excited to share with you how I altered this sweet little tin and created a mini journal to go inside of it. I made this project as part of the 100 Days of Junk Journaling Ideas collaboration sponsored by Rach and Bella Crafts. This collaboration is a community-wide effort to take part in the 100-day project. It's a way of working together to come up with 100 different ideas for junk journaling without one person having to come up with all the ideas themselves. So there's a whole team of junk journaling creators participating in this collaboration. And if you haven't seen the previous videos in this collab, I encourage you to go back and watch them. There's some amazing ideas that have already been shared. The kit I'm going to be using in today's video is called Echoes of Nature, and it's a French-inspired nature theme kit available on Rach and Bella's website. I'll have the link in the description box below, and don't forget that every week they're putting out freebies that coordinate with this kit, and those are available on their Ko-fi page. I'll have that link available as well. In this collaboration with Rach and Bella Crafts, there's a different prompt every week. This week's prompt is eco and upcycled junk journaling. So I thought it'd be fun to make a little journal that fits inside an altered tin. I got a whole bunch of these tins from someone on my local Buy Nothing group, so that's what I'm going to be using. But this little project can be used with any tin that you have. Mint tins are easy to find and fairly inexpensive, and they're a great little size. So that's what I recommend using. Let's see, the first thing I'm going to do is I went ahead and made a template for this, and I just cut this out of some clear craft plastic. This is from Recollections. There's like I got a whole thing of this, but yeah, use whatever plastic you have, even if it's packaging. This is 2 1/4 wide by 3 5/8 tall, and it has 1/2 inch rounded corners. And this is the same dimension on the front, on the back, on the inside front corner, or front cover, and in the inside back cover. Okay, so all of that is exactly the same. So it's just one template for all 4 of those. Now, I was thinking I might want to play with covering this up. Now this is embossed. This Altoids is embossed, so it's hard to get just a piece of paper that's going to lay really flat on top of there. But this also is embossed, this little frame thing, and I thought that might be kind of a fun thing to play with a little bit. So I went ahead and I cut down a piece of paper, and I ended up with a template that looks like this. So this is actually 1 3/4 by 3 inches. Okay, is actually what I ended up doing this, and I mitered the corners, and I, made it kind of like an hourglass shape, somewhat like that, just to fit in there. Okay, so then I took that and I put that on top of the plastic, just drew around it with a Sharpie, just a Sharpie like this, and I'm gonna just cut this out. Let's just double check that. Yeah, the size looks pretty good, I'd say. So that I can see where the frame ends and everything, I'm just gonna go around the edge of this a couple times with the Sharpie. So if you have some Altoid tins hanging around, you can use these measurements to create your own templates. But if you have a different type of tin, you're going to have to measure it and create a template that fits that tin. And the outside and inside measurements might not be the same, so you might have to create more than one template. So just be aware of that. So red really doesn't fit the color scheme of this kit, so I'm gonna have to alter the color of the top at the very minimum, and I'm just gonna use some paint to do that. I'm gonna try doing one all the way around and see how that works, if it closes nicely. And one, I'm just gonna do the top of the lid portion of it. And I'm just gonna use some gesso to paint this. It's going to take at least 2 coats to get the kind of coverage that I'm looking for. So I'm sanding it between coats using a really fine nail sander and then just wiping it down before applying a second coat. Okay, so here I have just put some gesso on the top of this. And that actually, I think, might work a little bit better than trying to put this over the entire base of this. And here's why. If you put paint in this little lip right in here, this little part that goes there, and like over this edge, you know, it makes it so it rubs. So that you're going to get a lot of, like, you know, the paint coming off as a result of that anyway. And that could look okay for a grungy look. I mean, it's not a terrible thing. But I didn't really want that right this second. And I think I can do some other things on the base here to kind of camouflage this area. So you're gonna see these 2 tins drying throughout the rest of this video, but I just wanted to give you a spoiler so that, you know, you can decide for yourself whether you want to paint the entire tin or just the lid. I am choosing to use the one with just the lid painted. I just think it's easier and much more effective. And then I've got this page here that I resized on some matte photo paper. So I'm just going to take this because I want this to be the inside front corner cover rather. And I like this, having this little template, because you can position exactly where you want the image to be. And you know, you can see it very easily. And I'm just drawing around the piece of plastic with a pen. I find that works better than a pencil, but I wouldn't use anything thick like a Sharpie for this. And then I'm just cutting this out. This time I'm using a trimmer, but I think for the rest of those I just switched to using my scissors. All right, and then I'm gonna use the a 1/2 inch round corner, and I think I'm gonna distress this a tiny bit with my distressor. This is just a this is from Clover. This is actually a thread cutter, but you can also use it as a distress tool. And I'm using a little pumice stone distress ink just to go around the edges real quick. Okay, so that looks really nice in there, just like that. Super cute. Okay, so for back here, there are several different options. I printed these pages 4 to a page so that they'd be scaled appropriately for this teeny tiny little tin. And I'm looking at the potted plants, these lavender fields, and even these trailing roses would be absolutely gorgeous. In the end, I can't really decide between these, so I just end up using my template and cutting out a bunch of different options. All right, so I just cut all these out, inked them up, you know, distressed the edges, and now I have them to use in various places on these. So that'd be kind of fun. But let's see, I want this opening like this. Okay, so that's pretty cool. One of the first things I want to do is glue that down just like that. I'm just going to use some Fabri-Tac. do my best to kind of burnish that down. I think that looks really cute. So, so cute. I'm gonna do that one on this one. So cute. All right, so now you can cover this because you can see this doesn't, the closure doesn't do anything there. All right, so this lip is like, oh, a little less than 3/4 of an inch, so somewhere between 5/8 and 3/4 of an inch. So I can do like a little strip that goes all the way around. Okay. All right, so basically I'm just going to burnish this down a bit. I'm trying to get these lavender plants in the right orientation to the left and the right, so I have to cut a second strip in order to do that. All right, so you kind of see you got some, kind of get that flowers on the interior like that. Looks kind of cool. So I want to work on the interior of the box a little bit. So you see I put this strip in here. I use these larger flowers so that I got these taller ones that I could put on the left and the right. And you can see the top and the bottom don't have anything much of interest. And then I used this to create a little template to go inside of here. This is like, I want to create a little pop-up. So I want something that's gonna lie flat like this, like be glued on the back to this back portion right here. And then when the book is inside, it'll be flat. But then when the book isn't in there, it'll pop up. So I've got to figure out like a way up top of doing like a little spring action type thing. But I made this template, so I'm gonna cut out some of this transparency in this shape, and I'm gonna score it here and here. So, all right, so I'm just gonna draw around this, and actually, oops, actually, I want to turn this around and do another kind of little lip thing on the bottom here as well. So let's see, put that right up against there. Okay, all right, that's good for now. I'm gonna cut this whole thing out. Okay, I'm going to and this can't be any longer than that. So I want to make it, let's see, about maybe like that. Hopefully that works. Okay, this goes back this direction, so I want this to go this way, the opposite of the other one. And I'm just going to use some hand sanitizer to get the extra Sharpie marker lines off of here. Okay, so I cut one of these in like some really heavy, I think this is like 110-pound cardstock that'll go in the back here. And I love this pattern, so I'm just cutting another piece in exactly the same spot. That's what I love about this, you know, clear little template, is that you can, you know, line it up and get it exactly where you want it. So I'm inking everything up. This is going to cover the background, those flowers that are already there. This is not necessary. I just thought it would be fun to add like a little pop-up flower in front of the background. So now I'm gonna take this piece and I'm gonna put it over the back of this. I'm just gonna add some E6000 because I don't trust that the other stuff is gonna work. I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna add a couple staples in here. And maybe I don't even need the E6000, since I like basically added just 1.5 tons of staples there, but that's okay. This is that I want to make like some little pop-up flowers. So I have these, I printed some of the flowers, some flowers that I had in my stash, just on some printer paper or sticker paper. All right, so I'm looking at this and I'm trying to find a good one that, you know, won't dominate the whole scenery, will show some of the background, but that, you know, gives some nice pop of color. I'm thinking this one right here. And you can see I just, you know, laid my little template over the top again. And I think I want this to cover the whole back because this plastic that I'm using as a foundation is super clear, and this one is a little bit cloudy, so I think it'll look better if I put it over the whole piece of paper, of transparency. I want this mainly to go down here. And I want to be able to cut off the that black part. So, yeah, hopefully that works. I'm just gonna take this little excess off here. Okay, so that'll look like that, which looks kind of cool. And I'm just gonna glue that cardstock down into the bottom. All right, so that's down in there. Just take this, put this right over the top. And you can see it's just a little bit It's a little 3D. It's just a little 3D. I think that looks cool. Now that I'm done decorating the interior, I'm going to start embellishing the exterior of the little tin. All right, so because this is embossed on here, you can't really just put a flat piece of paper on top. You know, you got to kind of add something with dimension on top of it. All right, so you want a thicker piece of fabric that will cover it up and still look pretty. I think I'm going to go with something like this. All right, so yeah, I mean, I think that's going to look kind of cool, just like that. Okay, so I printed this butterfly page twice. I did a vertical flip on this one, and I'm just fussy cutting out this little butterfly on both of these, and then I'm going to glue them back to back. All right, so I took some of these smaller, these are the things that go, you know, you can put in the flowers. I just took one of those and I colored it black so I can use it as the antenna for this. You don't have to use that. You can just use some thread or nothing. I mean, it doesn't really, it's not necessary. But I'm just gonna take and glue these two back to back. Oh, I colored it with just a black Sharpie. All right, so I have some leftover clear sticker paper from, you know, some previous projects that I had done. And I'm just going to, when this dries, I'm just gonna take and put this clear sticker paper over the top just to protect it because it's going to be on the top of the box and could get a lot of handling. So I just went along the embossed area here with some gold marker, this gold pen. It's, you know, it's just very rough. It's just very, yeah, just very rough. But I like it. I think it looks kind of cool. It looks very sketchy. All right, I'm gonna let that dry for a second. Then I'm just going to, I had cut this piece out with this. I put that down. I'm thinking this over it with some of that over top. All right, so I think I want to layer these up like this. And then just gonna staple this. There we go. Let's see, I could really. There we go. It's not so stark now. All right, and yeah, I think that went through all the various layers, so that's good. Yeah, I think that looks really good. Then I'm just going to glue this down to the top. Okay, I'll let that dry a little bit, and then I'm just gonna add. So while I'm waiting for that to dry before I put the label on, I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the back. Let's see, I already inked it, yeah. All right, yeah, I'm liking that. applied a little bit of dimensional tape right there. And I'm just going to add some of this to this side. Okay. There. You can see that. That looks cute. Super cute. All right, I really like that. And now just need to add something along the edges here. Okay, so this is 1/2 inch wide, so I need to find something that's about 1/2 inch. I really like this, but this top and bottom doesn't fit, so I'd have to take that part off. Let's see. Okay, so I trimmed the top and the bottom off. Now it should be 1/2 inch. That looks good. All right, so I think I can put this on here like this. Yeah, I think that's should work more or less. After I glue this trim down to the sides, I'm going to be done decorating the exterior of the tin, and I'm going to switch gears to working on the little journal that goes inside the tin. I am going to be using several pages from the Echoes of Nature kit, and again I printed these 4 to a page, and then I backed them with some solid background papers from the Billet Doux kit. These were freebies on Rach and Bella's Ko-fi page, and I'm just using this template to figure out where I want to fold the pages. It doesn't hurt to just do it to like right there. Okay, let's see how that works. All right, that's gonna look pretty good, but again, I've got to then round the edges here. Oh, I don't really like rounding these edges very much, so I don't think that's gonna fit in there like that. I think I'll just make it a little narrower, see what happens. See. All right, so that should fit just like that. Yeah, I like that a little bit better, and then I don't have to worry about rounding the edges. So I just used this same method to trim a number of pages that I wanted to include in this little journal that I thought matched the theme of this little tin. So the pages of the journal are measuring 3 5/8 tall by 1 7/8 wide. So I'm just using those measurements to tear some scrap pieces of paper that I have to add some more journaling paper in these little signatures. And I'm using a variety of different contemporary papers and some vintage papers. Okay, so I have all these, just little pieces of vintage paper scraps torn. And I printed out some sheets on vellum. Again, I did 4 to a sheet. Yeah, just kind of. And I'm tearing some of these down to use in the signatures as well. Okay, so let's just add some papers in here. Just get some colors and different colors and textures going. Okay, so I don't ever do a journal with just like 2 signatures, but I don't want this to be very thick, very, wide. I mean, I could just do 1 signature, but I kind of like the idea of having 2 signatures on this. I think it could be cute. I think I'm going to use this as the cover for the journal. So about 1 7/8. We'll just fold that like that. And let's see, I'm gonna make the whole seam like half an inch. I think that would be good right there. There we go. Just like that. Okay. And then this will be okay. I'm going to go ahead and sew these in my center point. And basically, it's right there where that line is. So you go down like 1/4 of an inch. Here and here. And do that here as well. Here and here. Okay, and then the center would be like here. And is this right? This seems wrong. 1 3/4. 1 3/4, that's right. Okay, so that's the center. Okay. All right, and then I'm pulling a page from one of the signatures that's near the center that is the full height, which is 3 5/8. So that's why I didn't choose one of those 2 little lined papers in the middle. I'm just using this as the guide. Okay. So this is essentially where these are going to go. So let's see. One, 2. Okay, 3. Okay, and then do the same thing. This should, let's see, these should line up with these just perfectly. I'm just going to assume they do. All right, and then do the same thing here. Okay, and then use this little foam core thingy. So I'm just going to use some of this crochet yarn. 2, 3. to sew these signatures. And I'm just doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, starting with this signature in the back. And if you're not quite sure how to do this, you can slow this video down in your settings. It's like the little gear to the bottom right of your video, and just slow it down to, I think you can even do it to like quarter speed, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm just starting in the middle, and then I'm going out to one side, going back through that hole in the middle, then going back to the other side and tying a knot. It's actually a very, very simple stitch. Okay, so this fits okay in here, but I'm thinking if I round these corners even just 1/4 of an inch, that it might fit a little bit better. All right, so you see that's kind of rounded there, and that does fit a little bit nicer in there like that. Yeah, much better. Now I'm just decorating the inside front and back covers. I am covering them with a little bit of some French book page, which I was so excited to find at one of my little local library bookstores, and some of the little ephemera pages from the kit. All right, I think I want to use this to kind of cover the front of this. Oh, this is so cute. Okay, so I'm going to do this as the closure just kind of after the fact. So I cut about 25 inches of seam binding. So I just colored the ribbon with some Dusty Concord Distress ink. Just scrunched it up, wet it, used some of that, and then dried it all scrunchy, and it looks so pretty like that. All right, so I want to do something more on the front cover here. So I was thinking like this is kind of like the perfect size for this. It's super cute, and it would look good with these colors. And I wanted to add some lavender, so I just fussy cut this piece out here, and I backed this on some thicker chipboard, but I'm not sure that was absolutely necessary, because I think what I'm going to do is just glue it on top of here like this. Now I've got any ink around the edges of this kind of green piece here, so I want to do that a tiny bit. Okay, I'm quite liking that. And I'm using some Fabri-Tac to glue that ephemera piece onto the journal and just burnishing a little. Why is it that like small mini things are just so freaking cute? Why is that? It's just, oh, I love that. I have to... All right, so now I'm going to take one of these, and not the thank you, probably like, I don't know, love or for you. You can see that trying to glue the ribbon underneath the faux seal isn't working really well for me. So to make sure that that string for the closure is adhered really well, I'm going ahead and stapling it down and then gluing the seal over the top. All right. Yeah, I think I like that better, because then I can tie the bow up a little higher and you'll still see this this little thing. I love this. I really love the way that turned out. Okay. And then I can cover that with something. Oh my gosh, I love that. Super cute. All right, let's just use a little thingamabobber to keep it together and down so it'll dry nicely. Okay, and then to hide these little staples, I'm just gonna put this like right over that, like that. Okay, there we go. Oh, that looks so cute. All right, I want it down here a little bit more, but that's super duper cute. Okay. Okay, so this is what the final little project looks like. Isn't it cute with the dimensional butterfly and this little trim on the side? And it's got all this, you know, you can actually see underneath there. It's kind of floppy, which I like. You can see the dimension here with the butterfly. And then under on the back, we've got this. Super sweet. I just love it. I really, really love this outside. So this is beautiful in and of itself. Just really, really pretty. You can see the detailing of the little frame around it and just all the layers and the textures. Really, really pretty. And then I open it up and I've got this really cute little greenhouse here and this beautiful book, which is a bouquet. Isn't that sweet? Oh my gosh, I just love it. I love it. And then you pull this, let's see, I'm gonna have to pull it out down here. Pull it out like this. And then you get this really cute little 3D like garden. So you got this with it, which is it just by itself. And then this, which kind of just gives it a little bit more of a three-dimensional effect. Very, very cool. And then we've got this sweet, sweet little journal. Look at how cute she is. For you. A bouquet for you. I love this little bow. Oh my gosh, I just absolutely love it. Look at how cute. Let me just undo this. And I didn't really embellish the interior, but you see we have a variety of different papers, both the printables and some vintage, like this computer paper. I thought that was super cute. Some vellum, some vintage writing paper. This is other lined paper. This really beautiful vintage graph paper. I love that. And it's like sheer. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And that's the first signature. And then the second signature. I love this vellum. So pretty. Vintage graph paper, this vintage computer paper again. that more of that sheer graph paper. Vintage graph paper. So lots of room for writing. Just really a sweet little place. It would be a great place for just, you know, daily thoughts or some quotes. This would be a great place for little inspirational quotes that you could go back and refer to over time. Yeah, whatever it is that you want to use this for. I mean, it wouldn't be a ton of writing, but just, you know, some little thoughts, some little ideas, a treasure book. You know, it'd be great for even your favorite plants and, you know, care instructions, that sort of thing. I love this little bow. I just think it's so sweet. Isn't that just the sweetest little thing? I just love it. And it just goes, stick this in here again. I just stick that in there again and put that back inside the little box. Look how cute. Super sweet little bouquet. This little project was just a joy to make, and I really love the idea of repurposing things that would just go into the trash otherwise. And this little Altoids tin is so precious, a great little size. This would also make a great little gift. You could, you know, use it as a place to put a gift card. I could build a little pocket right in here. This little journal could be, you know, a card slash small journal. So, you know, lots of different ways you can customize this for, you know, your purposes. But I just love this as it is. And it really is a pretty quick and easy project. I love these kinds of projects that look like they're complicated, but they're really not. I hope that you are enjoying this 100 Days of Junk Journaling Ideas collaboration. I really want to thank Rach and Bella for inviting me to participate. I really love this kit, and I am just so excited to be part of this collaboration. There are so many very talented creators in this collab. I hope that you will check them out. Here's the people that are upcoming next week, and I believe they're starting with a new kit as well this upcoming week. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they are. Every week, Rach and Bella are doing a drawing for some giveaways. And in order to be eligible for that drawing, you need to like and comment on every video of the collaboration for that week. And remember, use the hashtag 100 Days JJI for Junk Journal ID so that you can find everybody and all the videos that are coming up. We have one more month left of this collaboration, so be sure to check out all these channels and support the creators who have come up with ideas and inspiration for you. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Have you ever altered a little tin like this before? A little Altoids tin or any kind of mint tin. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm really curious to see. And if you have made one in the past or are inspired to make one from this video, please tag me on social media. I would love to see your creations. I'm at PaperKraftD1 on both YouTube and Instagram, and Denise Settles on Facebook. So do all the things, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and share my channel with your friends. I would love to see you back here as part of my crafty community. All the little things really help my channel get seen by the appropriate audience. And if you like this kind of repurposing in your crafting, making beautiful things out of junk, I have a great video for you right here. So please check it out. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this is Denise of PaperKraftD, and craft on.